What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Anthony, Michelle, and Lori, and we are discussing episode 3 of House of the Dragon. The title of the episode is Second of His Name.
Can I start with one thing?
Yeah.
I've been saying his name wrong. It's Aegon, not Aegon.
Have you?
Yes, I've been saying Aegon. It's Aegon, and I'm like, it's really that big of a difference between
Aegon.
Okay. Aegon, like okay. Ego.
Ego. Okay.
Go my ego.
Aegon.
Well,
okay.
So
my one comment and joke I'm saving for a certain part of a certain thing when someone tells somebody something.
Okay. So let's get started. We get to see a little bit of the what is that? The Crabfeeder. We get to see a little more of his brutality, and he also has a name. His name is Prince Drahar. Anthony, who is this person? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay, I haven't had a chance to
I don't know
research Prince Drahar yet because we're all coming off of Dragon Con where we were very busy. You saw Anthony's face just now, like, yeah, we're all still trying to remember what day of the week it is. It was busy, but yeah.
I do have a connection between Prince Drahar and the main Game of Thrones show. You remember the Sons of the Harpy?
Yes.
He's wearing the mask.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Because I can't tell. It's like it's so broken, and then later on in the episode, it's actually kind of
they kind of confirmed it online. So yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't know who Prince Drahar is.
Okay. So apparently these the soldiers have figured out who he is, and you have him with this one particular sailor, and he's doing the thing. He's nailing them to the post, and he's letting his crabs feed on him. And then all of a sudden you hear a dragon. And here it is, Prince Daemon. He's coming to the rescue. So we think, well, he is technically, but he's coming to the rescue. His dragon, Caraxes, starts, spewing fire at all of the soldiers. And this one particular soldier, he has had faith that his prince was coming. He was like,
he started losing his shit.
Prince Daemon, he's coming for you. Once Prince Daemon gets there, yeah, Prince Daemon, my prince, yes, come to save us. Save me. He's telling the prince, who is in the air flying with his dragon. He's like, save me, save me. And Caraxes lands, and his foot lands on this particular soldier who has just been talking about how Prince Daemon is gonna save him. And y'all, I didn't really mean to laugh, but it was so funny.
It was. It made me think of Jurassic Park. It did.
See, it made me think of Infinity War when Thor came and Bruce was like, he's here. Y'all are gonna pay now. Y'all are gonna get it. He made me think of that. But Bruce didn't get stopped.
No, he did not.
No, he did not. He did not.
So let's talk about this for a minute, because I have seen so many comments online. I've really been trying to stay offline because, like I said, busy this weekend. So I didn't get to watch this until yesterday, and trying to get caught up on everything. I haven't had a chance to fully absorb it. But Caraxes lands, and he's walking through the area, setting all of Prince Drahar's soldiers on fire, the people who was with him. And all of his men are starting to flee into the caves. And you see the flames go into the caves, but you don't see the dragon go into the caves. So I've seen some debate online because people are like, Drogon would have went into that cave and tore him up. And I'm like, Drogon was a smaller dragon, right? Daenerys's dragons were smaller than these dragons. Like he looks, I mean, he's a slender dragon, but he's massive. At least that's the way I look at it. And he can't get up in the caves like that.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, I just thought it was me because a lot of people were complaining about that.
It's not enough room for him to get up there in those caves. So,
like those entrances are like man-sized entrances.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How is he gonna get his snout?
Right.
Much less his body inside of one of those caves.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But they are raining some fire down on this man and on this dragon. And you know, one of the things I thought was interesting when he's walking with the dragon and they start shooting the fire arrows, the first thing he does is this. Did you notice that the dragon did it at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait, is he like really controlling this dragon? It was just interesting. But
remember the Targaryens are connected.
Yeah. It's just that I don't think we've ever seen it like
we've never seen it so explicit.
Right.
Yeah. But like when Daemon got hit with the arrow, the dragon also flinched as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
but that dragon was taking on some damage too, but not it seemed like it hurt him, but it wasn't damaging him.
It's like the in the originals, when Haley got married and her husband suddenly had one heart. Mm-hmm. They basically bond to the point where they have the same heart. They can feel each other's emotions, and if they're one's hurt or not. So that's sort of what it was described as.
Yeah, and I think they've always described it as that, but I don't think we've ever seen. I don't think I ever recall seeing them mimic each other in that sense. You know, not on the main show. Like we've seen them. We know that they're connected, but to see them actually like mimicking each other's you know, whatever they're doing physically, I don't think I've ever seen that. So that was interesting.
Could it be because they start off with the egg in the cradle, so they're really connected? They're together since pretty much birth.
Yeah.
Well, not the dragon's birth, because the dragon's in the egg.
Right.
I think Daenerys, she had them later in life, and yes, they were her babies, and they were with her all the time. But they didn't have that time to bond that connection.
Right.
Yeah, and they also have a whole training program with them as well.
Yeah. So okay.
It to a point that it becomes like second nature to, you know, he may shift his body a certain way that it would do the same thing that he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So
this is for those people who watch Ratatouille. They would get that.
Okay. So let's move on a little bit. We are celebrating the second name day of Prince Aegon. So that means that it's been almost 3 years since the second episode. So the king and Alicent Hightower, they have been married. She has borne him a son, and she is pregnant, heavily pregnant at this point. I was like, oh, okay. So this is going to be interesting because, of course, we know that Rhaenyra was named heir because he didn't have any living sons. Now he has a living son. And there's this whole great feast for this little kid's second birthday. Can I get a birthday party like that?
Yes. Yes.
They have everything. And, of course, Otto Hightower is over there still plotting with his brother. And, again, it throws me back to the Tudors and the Boleyns because Anne Boleyn's father was, you know, manipulating her and having her go in and manipulate the king. And then when you meet his brother, who is, you know, the firstborn, his brother's doing the same thing. Basically like, yeah, your daughters are supposed to be doing whatever it is to further our house. I was like, y'all got some issues back then, using these girls in this way. But I will say the king looks happy. even if he's missing a couple of fingers now.
Yes, you noticed that.
Well, here's the other thing too. I haven't had a chance to see it. It's playing in the background, but apparently there was a green screen glove on his hand that was obvious in the episode. Now
Yes,
I wasn't looking that hard during my first view, and I haven't had a chance to really look second view yet. But people were talking about that. They were like, "Oh, they're pulling some old Game of Thrones stuff and not not hiding coffee cups and not making sure the editing is great." I was like, "Oh, did he have the glove?" And I saw a picture where somebody posted. I was like,
yeah, it was towards the end of the episode when he gave that note to say he's coming to the rescue, and you can clearly see
that is
the
funny.
glove.
That is funny.
However, I need another episode to explain why that second finger got cut off. I mean, yeah, I understand the first finger got cut from the throne. So you mean literally he cut that finger off and sat on the throne again and got cut again?
Yeah.
He's sitting on the throne of swords.
So every year he gonna lose body parts.
He's doing pretty good. It's been 15 years and he's only lost two
fingers.
And we don't know what that back looks like.
I was just about to say,
we don't know what that back looks like.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know. But anyway, the king looks happy. You know, he got his living son, and just from the subtle looks I see between them through the episode, it appears that he's happy with his choice of wife. You know what I'm saying? Probably a lot more happy than he would be wed to Valerian, because I think at this point he still wouldn't have been able to have a child with her, or it would just be getting to that point. So anyway,
Alicent looks happy too.
Yes and no.
She the only time I didn't see her look unhappy was when she was talking to her dad, but she looked happy and she wasn't messing with her fingernails. And
this is true, but I think she still misses her best friend.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because Rhaenyra is
and it's kind of cool. It's interesting she's defending her too. Like she's still, her friend. She's still, even though Rhaenyra's treating her like trash.
Well,
she's not treating her like trash. She could be treating her a lot worse. She's just kind of, I think, treating her with indifference. You know, because throughout this whole episode, you see Rhaenyra still thinks that she's going to be supplanted. She's like, "Oh, he has his son. What does he need me for?" And you can see her acting out, not in an overly disrespectful way, at least not towards Alicent. I think she understands that, you know, this is all part of what is it Cersei said? This is part of the Game of Thrones. You know, Alicent just happened to be, quote unquote, the right person at the right time for her dad.
What did Cersei say? You win or you die?
Yeah. But, you know, I don't think she's very disrespectful to Alicent. I just think she's kind of like trying to not being around her. And again, I feel like she had more deeper feelings for Alicent than she let on. And of course, now this person who was your best friend, who may have meant something more to you, she's your stepmother now. And not only that, she has done what your mother couldn't do. She has given the king a living son. So I can understand her.
And now you feel like you've been replaced. So
yeah. So I mean, I can understand that. But you see Alicent tries to reach out to her and tries to say, you know, it doesn't have to be this way. You know, when she goes to look for Rhaenyra, because Rhaenyra is not at the birthday celebrations for her little brother. She's out at the tree making the
on repeat.
Right. Somebody said this is Rhaenyra listening to her Spotify playlist on repeat because she just kept having him sing the same song over and over and over, and she's reading. And Alicent comes out there, she's like, your father is looking for you. And she was like, well, you found me. And she was like, come inside. No, I think I'm just gonna stay here. And I almost thought Alicent was gonna start with the fingers again because of this exchange with Rhaenyra, but you know,
instead she's been rubbing that tummy like she about to rub a hole in it. So that's, instead of playing with her nails and her lining, she's been rubbing that tummy all episode.
She looks, I don't know,
it kind of bothered me because like typically I understand when you're pregnant, we didn't just walk around all the time just rubbing.
Towards the end of my pregnancies, I did because I was so huge and it just kind of, I had round ligament pain real bad.
Oh, okay.
So it brought some comfort. I don't know if that's what she's doing or if it's just a habit because she's like, I'm pregnant with the king's son, you know, and not even, I won't even look at it in that way because it's obvious throughout this episode. Like I said, the king cares for her and she cares for him. So it's not like it's a contentious marriage. I think for what he needed, he made a good choice. And he even refers to that later on. He made the decision that was best for him, you know, that he would be content with, as he says. He never quite says that he is actually happy, but he is content. There is a difference. You know, he does also make mention of her mother. And those are the only times when he talks about how happy he was. But he's like, okay, yeah, I'm content. You know, when he has that conversation with Rhaenyra about her needing to marry. Oh, this is the other thing. Okay, this is how I also know she was in love with the bestie. He's having this conversation with her about the fact that she needs to marry. And they're going back and forth. He was like, I'd hope you would be content, because he tries to set her up with one of the Lannisters who,
he came on too strong.
He laid it on way too thick when he started talking about dragon pits and all kinds. She's like, well, because for a second she was kind of like, listen to him, man. He says dragon. She's like, what?
Why would you need a dragon pit?
What was she a dragon pit for?
He was like, I would build one for my queen or my wife. And she was like, thank you for the wine. And just walked. She was like, I am not here for this.
I've never seen anyone hand somebody back a drink as fast as she did. I mean, she was like, I am out.
And she was not nasty about it.
No.
She was not disrespectful. She was just like, yeah, this is not what I'm here for. Deuces. But she lays it to her father about it though. Also, this is all I am to you. Somebody that you could just sell off to the nearest Lannister. Everybody's looking. Let me tell you, this chick, she ain't taking no shit from nobody. She like, you the king and you're not about to treat me like this. Everybody else is looking around. They going off on each other. And she is just giving it to them.
Like they totally forgot where they were. They totally forgot where they were.
Like you got pretty much all the main houses in the kingdom there and celebrating.
She kind of wrong for what she does, because she knows, just like everybody knows, he could command her to do it, and she would do it. She knows this, but she knows that he's not going to command her, so she's gonna just keep doing that to him because she knows he's not gonna make her do it, even though he could.
I don't even think it's. I don't think it's to the point where she's just being defiant just to be defiant in that sense. Like, I don't think she's.
He thinks she's being defiant just to be defiant.
He thinks she is, but again, I don't think that's what it is.
No, I don't think she's being defiant. I'm just saying she knows that she can speak her piece to him because he's not going to make her do it. So she's, and we've kind of seen her do that so far in the series, that she does feel like she can say pretty much however she feels, you know, to him, and not have that many consequences, you know.
But I need him to read the room because you saw how she reacted when you announced your choice of wife. That was not just I don't like her. That was a you wounded me look. And then when he has the conversation with her today, he's talking about, the potential for making a good match or whatever. He was like, I just want you to be happy. She said, and you think a man would do that? I was like, oh, she just basically told him, I don't want no dude.
But he said family. He wasn't saying the man specifically. He said family.
No, he said, no, that's what I'm saying. But he was talking to her about a potential match.
Right. But from his perspective, he's really not only thinking about her being with the man. He said family.
I know that, but what I'm saying is she was very specific when she said that. She didn't say you think a family would do that. She said, and you think a man would do that. She was very specific with her words.
His response was no, a family. So I was just saying that was his response.
Yeah. But the nosy neighbor, what was it, Lady Redwine?
Lady Redwine, yeah. She put her in her place.
She really did. And so nice and simply, because Lady Redwine is sitting there holding court with all the gossipy women. And she's talking about what Daemon is doing, because of course Daemon and Corlys have gone off and they've, started a war with the Stepstones, which the crown has very firmly said, we are not a part of this. But of course, you're going to have talk on both sides. People are like, oh, well, the king should get involved. And no, why should the king get involved? This is Daemon. So Lady Redwine is going through with her little gossiping, and she's, she sees Rhaenyra come in. She was like, well, let's see what the princess will tell, what the princess thinks. And Rhaenyra's just sitting there, and she's all nice, and she says her little piece. And then Lady Redwine says something that really pisses her off. And she just says, and what have you done to help the cause, Lady Redwine? Eating cake. And she turns around and walks out. While Lady Redwine's pug is eating the cake. I was like, I lost it. And she's only supposed to be 17. I was like, okay, I think she has the politicking firmly in hand, because she was like, yeah, I can go off on y'all and I can make you feel 2 feet tall and I don't have to raise my voice.
Right. And if you look back, she wasn't really like that in the first 2 episodes, but I think she's getting to, it was there, but I think she's getting to a point where she just fed up, because now she just feels like, 1, you got your son. 2, you really don't treat me like I am going to be your heir,
right,
to the throne. You really don't, and no one does. So I don't, excuse my French, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna say what I gotta say. I'm done. It don't even matter. I mean, I have no place in this world right now. So just screw it.
But I like the fact that towards the end, when she has the conversation with her father, he makes it very clear, because of course Otto Hightower, he's doing his little machinations like, oh, he needs to name Aegon the heir, and he even tells his daughter, you need to convince him to name your son the heir. And she was like, what, so that he can bypass his sister? I mean, I will say this for Allison, she is, I know there's some speculation and some talk about her going in and like trying to assert herself as queen, making sure that she's there. And I've said this, I think we've all said this, it's not like that's what she wanted. Like, she very, very clearly did not want to be manipulating the king. She was doing what her father commanded her to do. But even in this episode, we see she still cares a lot about Rhaenyra. And she's like, look, what did she say? What mother wouldn't want her son to be named heir? She was like, but at the sake of, pushing his sister to the side, I don't want that. Or at least she doesn't say it, but she implies it. And even when she
says it, she says, do you want me to raise a son that takes the crown from his sister? Like, well,
yeah,
I can't do that.
Oh, so yeah.
She says it to him too.
Lori, isn't that what happened with was it Mary and Edward?
For what?
You talking about Tudor history?
Yeah.
King Henry's.
Yeah. Pretty much down the line, yes. Because, that was pretty much. I'm sorry, I was got engrossed there. It's following the Tudors. It's Yeah. I didn't think about it until you mentioned that, but now that you mention it, yeah, it does. I'm curious to see how far she's gonna get with this type of behavior, because she obviously doesn't understand, even though she's the heir. The word princess, the definition says, hi, you're born to the king and queen. You have two jobs: either become queen or marry and make sure that someone else becomes queen. Obviously, she didn't see that in the dictionary. So,
but that's the thing.
She can't get away with it.
I don't think that's. I think she understands, and I mean, she's made it clear the last two episodes. She clearly understands how the politics game works. She knows what her place is, but again, I think if you are a child and you have gone through all of this trauma, for your father to make such a huge show of naming you heir, and then now it's kind of come into question because of course you have a younger brother now and they're doing this big grand thing for his birthday. And I mean, even I think, I can't remember if it was Otto Hightower or if it was someone else who mentioned that, okay, he's out of his infancy now, it's time to announce him as the heir. Oh, that was Otto
older. That was the older Hightower.
Was it? Oh, okay, the older brother.
Because I'm not trying to defend Otto, but it seems like he's getting some pressure too, because his older brother's like, you need to make that shit happen, and so he's talking to Allison. You need to make it happen because they, of course, the Hightowers want their grandnephew or grandson to become king, because that elevates the Hightowers even higher than what they already are.
Yeah. But I mean, these games, these political
honestly games. The hand should be, and I don't know his name, I forgot his name. The hand should be
Lionel Strong.
Lionel Strong, been there, been truthful, has not had a hidden agenda
at all.
Won't listen to him.
But he's speaking common sense.
He is.
He is. He is. And when the king was sitting there, when he was drunk on his throne, and Strong came up to him and he was like, would you like to know what I think? He was like, you're gonna tell me that I should marry Rhaenyra to your son, blah 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 blah. And he was like, I'm flattered, Your Grace, but no. He was like, you asked my opinion before and I told you to wed Laena Velaryon, and you did not do that. Marry the princess to the son.
Yeah.
And I was
like, same reasons.
For the same reasons.
For the same reasons. And I mean, even Rhaenyra says something when she has that discussion with her father, when he was talking about, you need to do this to secure your place and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Yeah. She was like, if you were marrying for the realm, you would have married Laena Velaryon.
Highlighter drop. And he realized it too. Yeah, you're right. He said, yeah, you're right.
But I mean, that's when he says he made his choice so that he could be content. Because I'm sorry, I understand the politics and all this other stuff. There's no way that grown-ass man was going to be happy with a little girl, no matter what the reason, no matter what their politics, no matter this is what they do. I mean, Allison ain't that much older, but she's more mature. And I mean, I hate to say it, she wears the role well.
Yes.
But
so let's go back to the other match that we kind of skipped over.
Which one?
From Otto.
Oh. He's like,
it can't get any more ridiculous.
The thing is, they really want to make sure that Aegon becomes king. And so, yeah, marry her to him. Not only do you stop all the other things, but yeah, we can make sure that Aegon,
you make sure that a Targaryen is going to be on the throne regardless.
Oh, no, my grandson, who's also Hightower.
I understand that. Yeah. But the way that Viserys looked at him when he suggested that. I was like, I'm so glad they are making it seem like this man has got some sense. Because he looked at Otto Hightower like he wanted to say, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And
it's
like, he's two.
It's just, but just like the older Hightower said, he was like, the king, the prince's second name day is here. He's leaving his infancy behind. This dude still can't talk. And y'all trying to make him the heir apparent. What happens if Viserys dies now?
He don't want to go to bed. He in there crying. He don't want to go to bed.
Right. But y'all want him to be the ruler. No, Otto wants himself to be the ruler. Okay. So what happens if Viserys dies and Aegon becomes king? He is going to rule the kingdom just like Tywin Lannister was the real king when Joffrey and Tommen were on the throne.
But the difference is it goes back to what's the problems with Otto. Otto still answers to someone over him.
Mm-hmm.
Even as hand, he's gonna have to listen to the Lord Hightower. Mm-hmm. I can't remember his name, but real quick, back to Lionel Strong. Mm-hmm. He also had an ulterior motive because he was like, wed her to the son, hopefully he survives the battle in the Stepstones. Hopefully, which that means now you're going to have to get involved if you want this to happen. You're going to have to go stop this war because you need to make sure that dude survives. But, kill two birds with one stone. Lionel was slick. He real slick. Like, yeah, we need to end this war.
And not only that, you combine your house with the wealthiest house in Westeros.
Yeah. Lionel ain't stupid.
He's not.
But you need to end this war so your boy can survive, so he can get married to your daughter, and boom.
He's been speaking the truth all along. First of all, they shouldn't have been in this war. But you like, we'll deal with that later. He's not a good king. I'm sorry. He's not.
And you saw a little bit of that when Tywin Lannister, the new master of ships, is like, we need to take care of this situation in Stepstones. And he's like, it's been going on for 3 years. He can wait 3 more days. Dude,
no urgency.
He has no urgency whatsoever.
How? Okay.
When he said that, I was just like, and he's saying this in front of everybody. Like, oh yeah, we'll worry about that later. My son's birthday party is more important. Which, okay, as a father, okay, I commend you. You're putting your family before your work, but your work ain't like regular people's work. It's not like you decided, okay, I'm gonna take a PTO day to go celebrate my son. No, dude, your kingdom is about to be burning. Your brother and his comrade are losing this war.
And it only takes 5 minutes. It's not like we're asking you to put armor on, travel to Sandstones, and actually do something. Just listen to the man, listen to your counsel, and make a decision. That won't take long while that boy take a nap. He's 2. He's not going to remember this birthday party. I'm just saying.
He won't. He's going to remember a lot of noise. He might remember a lot of food, but I mean, that food is not even for him. He can't even eat all that stuff. Anyway, so let's talk about this other thing. Did anybody else get Shadow and Bone vibes when they started talking about the white, I forgot what it was called here. I was like,
the White Heart.
Yes, there you go. The White Heart. I was like, oh, are we going to see this White Heart and it's going to choose Rhaenyra? I just said this kind of off the top of my head. And of course, that's pretty much what happened.
That's what happened.
So this White Heart is the symbol of royalty in Westeros.
Yes, before the dragons, the White Heart was a symbol of power and might.
Mm-hmm. So they're on a hunt for this child's birthday, which y'all see hunts don't never go too well for the kings in Westeros. But anyway, they're on this hunt. They're looking for this White Heart. And you know, they keep talking about how it's an omen. It's an omen. It, you know, it's signifying, you know, your son is just basically saying, yeah, you need to go and catch this white hart in order to secure the fact that your son is supposed to be the heir. And is it just me, or did it seem like he was just so unreluctant? He was just like, yeah, I hear what y'all are saying, but I'm not in any hurry. Like, even when they have the trail, even when they find it, he's very hesitant. And of course, we learn about it later on when he has the conversation with Rhaenyra. He was like, I am not replacing you as heir. Like, he specifically tells her this later on. And I think it's gotten to the point where he's so sick of people telling him what he needs to be doing as far as his son. And he was like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I didn't just pick her as heir on a whim, you know, and he makes that very clear to her as well. I think she's upset, but I think she hears him, but I think at the same time she doesn't believe him. And I can't say that I blame her.
I don't believe him.
I don't blame her, because he instead of being proactive and telling everyone that of course she's the heir, like he probably believes he's a king. He shouldn't have to say it. As long as he doesn't change it, then it should be understood. But he not reading the room. When people are saying these things, you need to come out and tell everyone, no. Aegon is going to be Aegon. He's going to be a 2-year-old, and Rhaenyra is going to be y'all's queen. Y'all need to give it the program.
And I mean, he kind of sort of says it when the Lannister comes up to him. He
hasn't. It's been 2 years. The boy is 2 years old now. He hadn't really reaffirmed to her and to the kingdom that she is the heir. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why she's like,
she feels it too. She don't. I don't either.
Yeah.
Because you only want to talk about it because someone else is talking about it. You only got that way with Lannister because he assumed what everyone else assumed, even what your daughter is assuming. And you're gonna be, oh no, that's not what's happening.
Right. Oh, she's not gonna be queen. She's not gonna be queen. So you know what? I can take her to wife. I can elevate. He was like, or what did he say? It'll strengthen her position. And he was like, do you really think my house needs strengthening? Yes, the whole damn kingdom thinks so.
So
I mean, I appreciate his indignity, but yeah, dude.
And he still had that seed of doubt, which he told her he had that little doubt, and Otto's gonna feed on that doubt. He's gonna get Allison in there on that doubt that maybe I should go with my son. We're finna see what happens.
Because he's starting to doubt himself. Like, even when he told her about the dream, he told Allison about the dream he had. That he's like, well, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I was wrong. Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't the first son that was supposed to be king. Maybe it was the second son.
Right.
I mean, what is this episode titled? Second Son?
Well, it also could be the fact that because of everything that's happened with their family, as far as, you know, who sits on the Iron Throne, maybe he's thinking that if he doesn't make his son the heir right now, see what the second baby is, see if it's a boy or girl, then wait a few years, and once his daughter is married and has a couple of kids of her own, then maybe he can kind of, you know, slide his son over, and she won't feel as bad because she has her own family. You know, I mean, that could be his thinking too, or it could simply be he just doesn't know. And you know, they talked about, basically he told her winter is coming, and they're trying to figure out who's going to be in the best situation to handle it down the road. You know, I mean, you know,
he doesn't have the luxury to wait for all of that, though.
Well,
like,
yeah,
literally, all of his council, his kingdom, everybody's talking about it. And even though he tells the Lannister, he was like, so you do realize that you guys wondering about who my heir is, that's considered rebellion, right? And Lannister was like, no,
he backed off real quick. Oh,
right.
Hold up. Wait,
I feel like that was his way of saying she is still my heir.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think he assumed that everyone would just go along with that program, because of course, to say she's not the true heir, would be rebellious.
Mm-hmm.
So of course nobody would do that. But he's not seeing what's really happening. Like he needed to reaffirm to everyone that she was the heir. But I'm sure he didn't believe he needed to do that because he's the king.
No, you're giving him too much credit. He just didn't think about it. He just assumed. I said it once. All is good.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
But I mean, if you think about it, with him being the king, it should be that way. I've already told y'all this once. I should not have to repeat myself.
But he's weak. Because imagine, let's replace a king here. If Daemon was king and he said, this is what's going to happen, do you believe people will believe him?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But Daemon would also probably slit somebody's throat or hit him in the head with a helmet.
Correct.
If they dared to fight.
Don't spoil my moment because I got a whole speech on that. I got a whole speech and a meme. Let me put it to you this way. If your cousin, because I was asking Mark, I go, okay, let me see. The queen who never was. She was Daenerys's daughter, and he is her nephew, correct? Follow me on this, right?
Who's
Viserys?
Viserys and Rhaenys are cousins.
Yeah, they're the grandchildren.
They're not. Okay, so they're cousins. Okay. I was thinking aunt and nephew. That's what I was thinking.
No, I think it's that way in the book.
In the book it is. Okay, all right.
But in the show, they're
cousins.
Grandchildren, they're cousins.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you this. So you become king because your cousin, who was the actual king's daughter, didn't get to become queen because she's a female. What makes you think 20 to 30 years time is going to make your daughter queen without any problem?
She's the granddaughter, not daughter.
Daughter. Okay. But still,
Jaehaerys didn't have any living heirs. He had 2 sons. Both of the sons died, which is why the succession was in question.
Okay. So I'm getting the book in this. But anyway, my point is, if old girl didn't get to be queen, what makes you think 20, 30 years is going to soften everyone and let your daughter become heir and queen?
Because the only other person, because Jaehaerys didn't name an heir. Jaehaerys left it up to the council, the Great Council, to choose his heir.
And
Viserys chose his heir.
That was a dick move. That was a weak move, and that was stupid. Because I'm watching this and I'm going, wait a minute, you're king. Why do you need for them to tell you who your heir is going to be?
Because that way he's not showing favoritism between his 2 grandchildren, and you have to think about it. Jaehaerys was a king about peace.
Mm-hmm.
Having your 2 grandchildren fight over who's going to be the heir, that would not only bring about dissent in the kingdom, but also in your house. I mean, we see what happened when Viserys named Rhaenyra. We see what happens when he named Rhaenyra. Daemon got pissed off, left off, and started a war on his own out of spite. I think Jaehaerys was trying to avoid that, but also wanted to know what his council and what the lords, that he rules over, what they thought. And Rhaenys had a strong showing. There were people who voted for her, but it was just that little bit of people who were like, no, it has to go to a man. But the other thing too, I think maybe Viserys didn't think that there would be that much dissent about Rhaenyra because she was so well loved as a child. He even talks about that in this episode about, the nickname for her was the realm's delight. Like everybody loved her. And I think he really thought that love for her would translate into loyalty as the queen.
And
but it's not that simple.
Everybody knew that Daemon was a dick. So they're okay with it for a little bit,
Yeah, but now he has a son, and that's not to say that the son is going to be any better. I mean, Aegon could grow up to become Anyway,
yeah. What we failing to realize too, what would have helped if he named her heir before he had a fight with Daemon, because the word on the street was Daemon was at the whorehouse and he was saying all kind of things, and the king got mad, and now who's the heir? His actual daughter. If he did this beforehand, when the mom died, when his son died, and said, you know what? I realize I need to name an heir now. It's going to be my daughter. Before there was drama. Because now everyone's like, well, who really should have been the heir? Should it have been Daemon, Prince Daemon, or should it really been her? That's what people are thinking, because they're like, we always assumed Daemon was going to do. They never thought about the daughter. She was never in play until he started acting like an ass.
Because he hadn't named no heir before that. He's probably going to leave it up to the Great Council.
Well, no, because remember, Queen Emma was pregnant.
Yeah.
So he didn't think he needed to name an heir because she was pregnant. He felt in his heart of hearts that it was a boy, and that boy was going to be the heir. And of course, she died, the child died. So now your succession is once again in jeopardy, because not only do you not have the child, your wife is gone too.
Right. So
which is why they spent so much time trying to get him to remarry. Like, I mean, we joked about this. This woman she got burned by a dragon. Her ashes weren't even cold, and y'all were trying to tell this man he needed to marry. So I don't think he ever thought in. If you think about it, when we hear the conversation between him and Queen Emma, she lost 5 children. 5 children. And again, he's talking about this dream that he had, which is funny because that came up in the House of Dragons panel that I did at DragonCon this weekend. One of the audience members, he was like, when will they learn that prophecies and omens are no good for them? Because every time a new prophecy is made, they do everything that they can to follow that prophecy, and it ends up being bust. Like, how many centuries do you have to go through this before you say, okay, you know what? Yeah, you made a prophecy. I'm not paying no attention to it.
Right. And he was talking that. And he thought his backup again was his brother. That's the backup. But as soon as that, that happened with the mom and the son, he should have went ahead and said, you know what, let me go ahead and immediately say that she's going to be my heir. So we can just kind of close things off.
But then again, too, he was in mourning. He didn't want to deal with all that now.
See, here's a problem. He never wants to deal with anything. Okay, he's in mourning. Now it's the birthday party. I mean, I need you to do your job.
I know.
Yeah. He let his brother sit up there in Dragonstone.
Right. So you know what I'm saying?
Not do anything about it.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're letting all these rumors just fly around the kingdom.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's very comfortable. He's comfortable.
Yeah. It's
to the point where I'm like, I almost want someone to invade him just to wake his ass up. You know what I mean? Just something.
Well, that's what's happening in the Stepstones.
I don't think I personally don't think that, unless what happened did happen, I don't think he would have done anything. The only reason he did anything is because he found out that baby brother might have a situation that might not be able to handle. If it wasn't for his brother, he wouldn't have done anything.
And because I don't think
he's only doing
he didn't think it was that much of a threat.
He's only doing anything now because a potential mate for his daughter is there fighting in the battle, and he wants to make sure he's still alive when it's over. That's the only reason why he's getting involved.
I think part of it has to do with Daemon too, because I think even though they are estranged, he does still care for his brother, and then also too,
a little bit part of it.
But also too, even though the crown is not involved in this war, who do you think they're going to blame if Daemon and Corlys are unsuccessful? They're going to blame the king for not getting involved.
About it.
Well,
it's like Lady Redwine said, the crown is involved in it no matter what anyone thinks. I mean, it's a war.
I was listening to Cast of Thrones podcast earlier today, and they made a very interesting point, and I don't know if anyone thought about this or not, but they said, what if, and they said, God forbid if it had happened, what if Daemon had gotten kidnapped by the crab guy? What if he was hostage? Then you would have a whole new set of problems.
I don't think that dude would have kept him as a hostage.
Well,
no,
he wouldn't have. Especially seeing how beast mode Daemon went.
Yeah.
Before, that would not have been a hostage situation. That would have been a we need to kill him and kill him quickly situation.
And mail his body to the
right, mail his head to the king.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I'll give you guys that. But that was just a thought. I thought that was interesting. I mean, but I think that the reasons that you guys said about the potential husband and the fact that they're fighting there, and I was confused because I had to go back. So the one that wrote for help was Corlys's brother,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
And he's the one that they are looking at to marry her off to?
No, they're looking at Corlys's son, the twin to the daughter. He was the younger guy. He was the one who actually came in on the dragon.
Yeah, he was on the white dragon.
Oh, okay.
He's the twin of the little girl. So they're both now about 14, 15.
Okay. So let me get this straight. They're not even going to offer the eldest son to old girl. Okay,
that is the eldest son.
So who's the little skinny pop that's there talking, saying "Uncle, back down"? Is that him?
That is him. That's Laenor.
He looks older than 14. He looks like he's like 20.
I don't know. There were two sons there, Laenor and
the other guy.
There was another one.
The other guy was Corlys's brother. He was the one that was.
No.
If you watch it with the captions,
it
actually has his name up there. But there was another one there too saying stuff.
That's who I thought they were talking
about. I think they were both talking.
Yeah.
There is a younger brother, but the Laenor is the one that they were talking about marrying her off to.
Yes. He
is the twin of the girl that they tried to get Viserys to marry.
Oh, see that. Never mind. Okay. Okay. I am going to send in Messenger a picture that I have because we're getting ready to discuss something, and I have a small rant. I'm sending the picture now.
Okay? What is this picture? Oh.
Now, can we talk about it a little bit? Can we talk about okay.
We can go ahead and talk about it.
Okay.
Are you sure you want to talk about the boar? I just want to talk about her stabbing.
Okay. I'll wait.
No, let's go ahead and let Lori get this out of her system.
No, I can wait. It's fine.
Because you have mentioned it several times since we started this recording. Get it out of your system. You want to talk about Prince Daemon and his badass.
No, I don't even want to. I want to talk about one particular thing. It'll take me 2 minutes. Now, we've all heard, "Don't shoot the messenger." How about don't wail and kill the messenger? Okay, he took one look at that, read it, sort of put the message to the side. Then he turns around, takes the helmet, and then he proceeds to beat the man to death. It was perfect. That's all I gotta say. Is that I never thought I wanted to see Matt Smith kick the shit out of someone, but he did. It was awesome. He didn't blink. He didn't back down. When they tried to hold him back, the man was already dead. That poor messenger, all he did was serve the king. Literally.
Was he dead?
What you mean?
I don't think he was dead. They stopped him.
I thought I saw brains somewhere.
He feels that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He might wish he was dead.
Exactly. But that I might have rewatched that like 5 times because I'm going, oh, this is good. I mean, the rest of it we can discuss, but I just wanted to say, whenever you're a messenger for the king, you had better be ride and die for that king because you're gonna be dead. Seriously. Or maimed or dead and maimed and dead. So that's all I'm saying. That's the end of my rant.
No, the second thing is the next messenger will be like, nah, that's okay.
Right.
I'm sick
I don't
that
want to
day.
do this.
Exactly.
I'm calling in sick.
Okay, so I am looking at the scene in the background. There's only one son of Corlys. The other guy who was standing off to his left, that's just the regular white boy.
Okay.
It's just he was in shadow, so it kind of looked like it. But yeah, no. Let me tell you, the brother, that brother was trying to incite mutiny.
He was. He really was.
And the other thing is, I'm sitting here looking. We're talking about Viserys being weak. Corlys was sitting there letting his brother spout off until Daemon showed up and started walking down, and then he was like, "I will not have you inciting a mutiny." Your son was speaking up more for your business partner than you were.
Right. But then you have to look at the look that Daemon was looking at the soldiers with. I wish you would.
Right, exactly.
He just looked around. I wish you would.
Exactly. But do we want to continue on this path? Because I do want to talk about the boar and all this other stuff. But since we're here, should we go ahead and talk about this?
All right. So it was Joffrey Valerian who was talking. So Laenor talked, Joffrey Valerian talked, and Vaemon Targaryen talked.
Oh, who is Joffrey Valerian?
I think Joffrey is the son of the older Lord Valerian, the one who's the actual Lord. Vaemon, I think Vaemon is the older brother's name.
Vaemon is the one who was mad. Daemon is the reason why we're losing.
Yeah, he's because remember, Corlys is also a second son.
Yeah.
To Vaemon, and I think Vaemon's son is Joffrey Valerian.
Okay, so I gotta let this play a little bit so I can see, because I only saw one younger Valerian, and let me tell you, the young people in this episode, because Rhaenyra had her say to Lady Redwine, like, so what are you doing to help the cause besides eating cakes? And Laenor said to his uncle, he was like, so what are you doing to help our cause other than being a master of complaints? I was like, you know what? These kids are like, we ain't taking your shit. Stop complaining and do something about it. I was like, oh, okay. All right. I like these kids. But yeah, I'm sitting here looking at it in the background. Okay,
Daemon, they don't show him, and he's not at the table. He's in the background. It says Joffrey, and he say, the dragon is coming. That's all he said.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was Joffrey.
Oh, so Joffrey is...
Technically, we don't know who he is. We just know that there's
because
Joffrey Valerian.
Right, because I have the closed caption on. It says "Dragons Return." Yeah, you're right. We don't see him.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. I think I do see him. Nope. That's still Laenor.
You don't see him.
You don't see him, but he talked.
No, you don't.
So, who was the one who rode in on the dragon? Was that Laenor?
Yes.
Nah.
Yes.
Was that Laenor or was that?
That's I listened to 3 different Game of Thrones podcasts, and they said that was him.
Oh yeah, at the end it was him.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was him.
Yeah, because he has a white dragon.
Because what they're gonna get into is the whole dragon riders, which is a pretty interesting part of the book. And the dragon riders are basically anyone who has any type of Targaryen blood, either married or bastard children, and they use both boys and girls. And the thing is that because he's both Targaryen and Valerian, he made an excellent candidate. But yeah, they really get into it in the book, which I thought was fascinating.
Okay, so I guess let's get into Daemon. We might as well, since we're already here. So this is we have 20 minutes left in the episode. And of course, earlier, a few frames before, we find out that Daemon Valerian has written to the king to ask for help because Daemon and Corlys are losing the war. And at first, the king is not considering it. And he has a conversation with his wife. And he was like, I'm not going to, what was his reasoning? He was not going to bail Daemon out. And she was like, okay, then let's make it simple. She was like, do you save the kingdom or you don't? Like, if Daemon loses, what would this mean for the kingdom? And so at this point, he's like, okay, I need to go and send some help. So he sends this letter by messenger to Daemon saying that he's going to offer ships and soldiers to come and help their cause. And it's so funny because the way they really focus on Matt Smith's face in this scene. And when he reads the letter, it's like you can almost see a little bit of, okay, my brother still cares about me. But at the same time, it's one of those where I feel like he read that letter and he felt like, oh, so he's going to send some help, get us out of this mess. And then he can say that the crown is responsible for the victory. This weak ass man is going to come take my victory. Daemon was like, hell no to the no.
Motivation for you.
Man.
3 years ago.
That's right. We could have been done with this shit.
And that coincides with the plan because they're like, we got to offer them something to come out of the caves. Who's gonna be stupid enough to do it? And Laenor says, Daemon. He's like, oh my God, really? And guess what?
Daemon said, fuck it. I'm doing it.
He said, hell no, my brother's not gonna come here and build me.
He's not.
No, this is not gonna happen.
We're gonna get this taken care of tonight.
Daemon gets in a rowboat by himself.
Right now.
Rows over to the other side of the island. Finds some white cloth. Holds up the flag of surrender. And I was looking at this like, Daemon, what the hell are you about to do? Like, are you this stubborn that you don't want your brother to help, that you're about to, surrender yourself? Then you start seeing them coming out of the caves a little bit. Then you see the Crabfeeder come out the cave. I was like, oh. And I'm so sorry for that Crabfeeder because that mask is now plastered to his face permanently. Yeah. He apparently got touched by some of that dragon fire. But man, let me tell you, he gets up on this hill, he waves this flag, and the Crabfeeder sends his men out, and he's got men up on the cliffs with arrows waiting. And I started to get a little bit worried. And I'm so sorry, Daemon. I did not have enough faith in you.
I didn't either. I was like, no.
Like our friend pointed out, he zigzagged. He didn't really shit. So he was good. He was solid.
No, but they were coming towards him. He had the knife in his hand. You just didn't know how this was gonna go.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when he started fighting and knocking people down, and like you said, zigzagging and fighting how many men did he kill just by himself?
Right.
I don't know what. I was looking at him, and all I could think of was like Hulk Hogan. And I know I just dated myself, but Hulk Hogan, you get Hulk, he's down and out. You think he's about to be pinned, and all of a sudden he gets that surge of energy and he starts beating his opponent. Man, let me tell you, Daemon Targaryen commanded the last 20 minutes of the screen and did not utter a single word. Not a single word. But he killed how many? I don't even know. And this was even before Corlys and the rest of their men and the dragons showed up. And you could see that Crabfeeder, he kept looking for them dragons. He kept,
yes.
Like, where's the dragon coming? Oh, is he really surrendering? Okay, y'all go out there. I'm gonna keep looking for this dragon. Like, he was looking for that dragon. He was like, nah, I done already felt that flame once. Where's the dragon? Where's the dragon? And when the dragons finally do show up, it's Caraxes and it's I don't know the name of the dragon that
it's
Lena
like
was
sea
on.
smoke or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But of course the dragons come. They light the people on fire. And you know, I kind of wonder, like when you're in a situation like that and you have your men fighting and you have your enemy fighting, like, do you just sacrifice your men? Because you know the dragons can't necessarily pinpoint, okay, yes, that's enemy, I'll burn them. No, that's part of the army. So what?
Well, sea smoke was getting the archers.
Well,
so
yes, that is true. But I'm talking about like the men on the ground.
Just knew not to hit
Daemon.
And he could have hit Daemon. Daemon would have been fine. So it's okay.
I mean, if Daemon is a true Targaryen, if he is a dragon, then that fire wouldn't have bothered him.
Yeah, and it didn't look like the Valerians went that far. It was like just right around.
Yeah, he did right around him.
Right around Daemon. It wasn't near the other guys. So
yeah.
And besides the fighting for Daemon, the running, like the speed of that run, the determination.
He was like, I'm gonna get this dude. When I tell you, he was killing and slanging and doing this, and I was just looking at this screen like, this is woman, and he's gotten shot with arrows. He got one in the leg, he got one in the shoulder, and one in the chest. And this is where I thought, okay, he's probably gonna die because at this point he's being surrounded. He's being surrounded, and he's there by himself. He's hurt. This motherfucker still picked up his sword and looked at y'all like, I felt like he was about to do this Morpheus, like, come on.
And I want us to go back and look at the episode because actually it's really one dragon.
Is it just one dragon?
Well, because when I just watched the fire that went around Daemon, had the sun on top of the dragon. Because he was like, woohoo, and then he went off. And then he hit all the ones with the arrows.
Okay.
So
well, that would make sense because you wouldn't want Craxus freestyling.
Well,
you know, you wouldn't want Craxus freestyling this. That might not be a good, especially if Daemon's in trouble. Craxus might
take everybody out.
It might not be. It might be best to have a dragon under control. Yeah, I'm just saying.
And I hate when a leader of a group runs away. Like you have your men out there fighting, and you run back into the cave.
But that's what they do.
No,
the men are supposed to be there to fight for them.
You bold enough. You need to be out there. But that's okay. Daemon ran right into the cave
and came out
with some of the Crabfeeder. Not all of them. Some of them.
Man, let me tell you.
However, I do need Daemon to go to the local clinic because I swear there are, what is it called again on his skin?
The dragon scale?
Grayscale. Dragon scale. Oh, grayscale. Yeah, that's grayscale. And he was holding his hand when he was dragging him out the cave. I don't know.
I don't know if I...
Is that grayscale?
Oh, no. That is, I think that is two dragons.
You think it's two?
I think it's two. That's what it looked like. But I don't know if I feel like that's grayscale or if that's...
They haven't confirmed it yet.
Yeah.
A sunburn? I mean,
obviously this dude likes fire because even before Daemon shows up with the dragons, when we first see the consequences of the first battle, like when Corlys was really pissed off, like I just lost 4 ships, there was a lot of fire. So I feel like it's probably just I don't know. I would have to look at. I don't know if I think it's grayscale.
I mean, it could be, a different variant of grayscale. It looks like it is on his arms, his face. We'll see.
I mean, his men wouldn't have fucked with him too much if he actually had grayscale.
I don't think
It's
he
highly
was. I don't
contagious.
think he was messing with men anyway. I mean, he doesn't look like a dude. I'm gonna hang around the fire and we're gonna sing a song of crab cakes. No, that's not what he's about.
She said crab cakes.
No.
I don't know. I don't know, Michelle. Yeah, you might be right. I think it's only
one dragon. It's hard to
but
tell.
It's hard to tell because even though the dragon looks white, like when he says Dracarys right before Daemon walks out with the crab feeder's partially severed body.
Mm-hmm.
There's an angle at which the dragon turns and he almost looks red. So I don't know.
I don't know. Okay.
I still wouldn't want Craxus freestyling. Craxus might be on the edge like Daemon, so
he is because they're gonna be similar.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. But I would be remiss if I did not at this point bring up some similarities as far as artistic choices.
Mm-hmm.
With Rhaenyra and her killing the boar.
Rhaenyra, yeah.
Rhaenyra carrying the boar and being covered in blood. And here we have Daemon come out with his conquest, having also being covered in blood.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was an interesting contrast between the two. Not even a contrast, it's more of a similarity.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost like they're real warriors.
Yeah, and I mean,
because comparison, then there's the king and his kill.
Which he couldn't even he couldn't even get it right. Like they were holding the stag. He had to spear it twice, and you could tell that he didn't even want to do it.
And it wasn't even the right one they were looking for.
No, it wasn't.
That one knew better. That one was like, yeah, y'all not about to catch me for this little imposter king.
Right.
Maybe not imposter king, but I mean, it showed itself to Rhaenyra.
Yeah, it did. Because she's the real warrior. I mean, your dad literally had to use stairs to get off a horse. Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
So we basically are seeing Rhaenyra and Daemon on a collision course of either marriage or war.
Oh, it's going to be marriage. It's going to be marriage. Because again, Daemon, yes, he is at odds with his family. But like you said, family is important to him.
It's very important to him.
And he has a genuine affection for Rhaenyra. Even not talking about the potential marriage thing, as his niece, we saw he had genuine affection for her, and she had affection for him. Like when he took over Dragonstone and she went to go talk to him, she was the only one who was able to talk him down and get back the dragon egg without bloodshed. Nobody else would have been able to do that. I don't even think Daemon's chick would have been able to talk him down if he was really set on fighting the king's men. Rhaenyra is the only person who could have talked him down. So yeah, I think what we're seeing is that foreshadowing of this powerful house. And then I don't know. Because I kind of sort of know how the story is going to end. I don't know quite yet how we're going to get there. But I do think that they will be married and will probably be a compatible match, as opposed to, I think at this point, if she feels like she has to marry somebody, might as well be somebody that she can communicate with, can be somebody that she would trust. And I do believe that even with the estrangement, she would probably still trust him more than she would trust any other man in Westeros. So I don't know. But yeah, that boar killing. So let's talk about that. First of all, let's talk about the fact that I love that she and Sir Criston seem to have a really good, comfortable friendship. Like, that's the person who now you can speak your mind to, who you can say things to, because your one true confidant done up and married your daddy. So
I like Sir Kristen.
I like him.
He's so matter of fact. He's like, I ain't have nothing before you put my name in the white book.
Right, because he's about to be loyal as fuck to her.
Yeah,
But also at the same time, I feel like that dooms him in a way.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, nobody really gets anywhere in Game of Thrones being nice.
Well, we know that he and Daemon are not going to ever get along.
No. I think they will because Daemon respects him. You saw how he's like, I like that because he can come back. See, Otto, when he does that to Otto gets all tooty with it.
You know what? I agree with you. Yes.
But he was like, oh, okay. Well, I like him because we can combat each other. But
and then also
he'll be all right with him.
His job is to protect Rhaenyra.
Yeah, so he'll be okay with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I agree.
However, you saw her pent up anger though.
That boy breathed.
But that was also fear too, because
but once that second stabbing get in, what I have heard. Now, this is what I have heard. I mean, I don't know, people really have stabbed people, but what I have heard is because, like, once you get that, those first 2 stabs, then you get this release, and she was getting that release of all that pent up feeling she had about how she was being treated.
Yeah.
So the fear started it, and then after that,
should I be concerned?
I'm just saying that's what I have heard. I mean, no one who has stabbed anybody. I'm just saying they have said when.
But I have read that too, reading accounts of like serial killers and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say serial killers, but she put it out there. Yeah. So I have heard from like serial killers that when they get that stabbing in, especially that fear, even when it's
serial killers that you've been talking
No, seriously, if you watch any kind of documentaries or any kind of thing,
with people,
they talk about how
doing it out of fear, things, but then afterwards they get that release, and that's what tends to bring them back to the stabbing if they're a stabber.
Yeah, it has something to do about that close physical contact. It's different from like if you shoot somebody or it's something about that physical release. I think it releases some kind of chemical in your brain. But anyway,
she got it though, and she released.
She did, and then she walked back into that camp like a motherfucking boss.
Yes, she did.
I like the 2 guys
still on her.
I think those were Strongs that looked up and they started laughing. Like, oh yeah, she's for real.
You're right. She was earning that respect.
Did you see the look on that Lannister's face? The one that had proposed marriage to him?
He was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah. He was like, nah, I changed my mind.
I'm good.
This is not going to work.
Oh, my God.
I find, where, does Lady Redwine have a daughter or something somewhere,
Lady Redwine don't want none of that.
If she get mad at me, I don't know what's going to happen.
You saw who he was sitting with, I think the Lord Hightower. That's who he was sitting with. I wonder what they were talking about. Just saying.
Them damn Hightowers.
But there's a reason why the Tyrells run Highgarden in our time period, not the Hightowers. So, just saying.
I know. But I mean, you can't be mad at them for trying.
No, you can't.
You can't.
I mean, they're trying to elevate their station, so But yeah, no. He's sitting with Otto.
Oh, is he? Okay.
He's sitting with Otto, and Allison is sitting behind him, or she's standing behind him. Yeah, Rhaenyra's just walking in like that. Oh yeah, I don't know who that was. Somebody was skinning a rabbit, and when he saw her walking, he started laughing. He was like, "Oh, okay, gotcha." And the way she just walked past the table, the king is looking at her, and Otto Hightower's looking. Otto Hightower better watch it. Watch it, because if she ever really, she probably hasn't looked too closely at how Allison ended up as the queen. But let me tell you, if she ever sits there and figures it out, Otto better watch it. He better watch it.
Skinning the skinning the animal, that was Lord Strong's oldest son.
Okay.
Okay, those were the Strongs. So.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so that's the one that the king was like, "Oh, you want me to marry her to your oldest son?" Blah 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 blah. You know what? Oldest son.
That was a bad match. His nickname is, I believe, was Broke Bones.
Break Bones.
Break Bones. Yes, Break Bones.
I don't know why he has that nickname, but he would do as a potential match.
Oh yeah, Lannister is sitting with the older Hightower.
Mm-hmm. Is
he? Yeah.
Not Otto.
Otto's sitting with
at the table with the king.
Like sitting next to him, where his wife should be sitting. Mm-hmm. However, he's sitting, and I knows that. I'm like, let her sit
okay.
down.
That's what I was looking at. I was looking at. Okay, yeah.
I mean, you're sitting in the seat next to the king, feasting.
But you know, they have no regard for women. Women are there to make babies and you know, birth heirs. That's all they care about. They don't care that she's heavily pregnant and holding that damn 2-year-old child. Anyway, yeah, she walked in that camp like she was a boss. And I think maybe even that prompted that conversation with her father, because he probably was looking at her like, yep, she would be she would be a worthy queen, because y'all expect the men to go out and do this. Why not the future queen? And she just showed y'all, okay, I can handle myself. I don't know.
But the one thing I know, but one thing that kind of bothered me a little bit was, they said they had men out looking for her. It didn't really seem that way, because they were out there all night.
No one found them.
But if you think about it, if she knows those woods, she could have known how to evade them, or something
they weren't looking for her. They weren't looking for her.
They weren't really.
You don't think so? No, I was going to say, something tells me she would know how to evade them if she wanted to.
Otto went over there, and Otto was like, "Y'all don't look too hard for her."
Yeah, Kristen Cole got her. It's fine. We ain't concerned. It literally shows how the king is not really paying attention to her, like she's saying. Like, no one is even noticing that she was gone all night. No one. Until she walking on camp. Bloody.
But if you think about it, she kind of hides out anyway. Like, she wasn't part of the birthday celebration. She only showed up when she felt like, what was it? She asked Allison, "Does the king command me to be there?" And Allison was like, "Yes, but it doesn't have to be there." "Oh, that's all you had to say. I'll go." Like I said, she's not going to be openly defiant of her father. Not in the sense that would have the kingdom mean like, oh, she being disrespectful. She's not going to do that. Not on purpose anyway. I think that little outburst was more so her just feeling angry, like, oh, you just trying to put me off on it. Like, if you're going to put me off on anybody, don't do it to the first looker. Even though we know that's not the case, because he was like, people have been writing for years trying to offer up their sons for her. But it was an obvious attempt at this point. Like, dude, you couldn't pick the elder strong boy. I probably would have looked twice and be like, oh, okay, you know what? Let's think about this. But that Lannister, just the way he even came across, I was like, no, somebody needs to stab him.
Smarmy is the word. Smarmy.
He has none of the suaveness of his descendant, because Jaime can talk some shit, but he's not going to talk it in that kind of way. You know what I'm saying? This is like misogyny at its finest with this Lannister. Like, gross. Anyway, hold on. I got to look at this again, because this is the part where they're showing I want to see if I actually see this little CGI glove or whatever it is. supposed to be. Oh, or maybe it's just no. It's just covering his fingers. Oh no, you're right. I see
it's there.
Because he was sitting in front of the fire, and you could see his fingers kind of burnt off, but he's moving too fast. I have to freeze frame it later. I know Anthony's gonna laugh at me. I'll freeze frame it later.
We don't freeze frame here. Sorry. I don't freeze frame.
I did.
She did.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Let's be clear, Mike. I did not freeze frame.
I had no problem.
Yeah.
Doing so.
Daemon.
I know. I mean, literally, he carried it the last 20 minutes without a word.
It started with the look when he walked up and looked at all the men.
My thing is,
how I dare you to come up here and try something.
He brought the whole half the body. Like he could have just cut the head.
Right, that's true too.
But he brought the whole half.
Yes, yes, he did.
With the entrails, with the intestines.
Yes, he did.
Who's gonna feed this to Caraxes? I mean, what is the plan?
The plan was, I don't want my brother's help, and I'm gonna get this ended tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want no one saying my brother had to come to my rescue.
Right, or that the crown will take this victory.
Yes, I will take this victory. That took me 3 years.
And he did. In grand fashion.
So it was great. It made me go back and watch the Battle of the Bastards.
We watched the Battle of the Bastards.
Yes.
Because this is like John.
That was a great battle.
When John was gonna take on the whole army by himself. It was the same situation.
Yeah, you're right.
Another Targaryen making a not so smart choice. It seemed like a not so smart choice.
Emotional choice. Because that was an emotional choice for John. And it was an emotional choice for Daemon. It wasn't strategy. It was literally, how dare him? I'm not going to take his help. I don't want anyone to claim that the crown helped me. I'm going to take care of this on my own. Tonight. And he did. So, hey, a bonus point for him. He can be king. I don't see what the problem is.
I don't either. I'm all about Team
Daemon.
Now,
what's the problem? What's the problem
about it?
Well,
I've been Team Daemon.
We won't have any war.
Since day one,
I don't understand.
I had your back. Just saying.
Well,
wait a second. Now he was wrong with the things he said about his brother and
that was his way of feeling bad for
Mm-hmm. Okay, inappropriate jokes.
We all
more than that.
Ways. That's how
he should have stayed quiet this morning.
Well, I agree with you guys 100%. But see, here's the problem. He is an inconvenient heir because yes, he's the oldest. Yes, he's got the most direct claim. But with each child born, with each generation, it gets pushed farther and further down to if his brother dies tomorrow, he's screwed because of both Rhaenyra and the baby. And each child, he gets pushed down. And the thing is, because now in the book, he's known as Lord Fleabottom. I mean, he makes Littlefinger look like a saint in some instances. Because he's got such a reputation, a lot of people think he's too much of a hothead, though honestly, that's probably what you need right now versus, the one we got now. So I think that his whole role of being a very inconvenient heir, or used to be heir, or could be heir again, is that they wouldn't know how to control him when they're so used to controlling him, his grandfather, and having basically, I mean, the hand, if you think about it, if the hand was in, as you call it, the modern times where the Game of Thrones we know, the hand wouldn't last 2 weeks, okay? Because he's telling them too much about themselves in a way that then he's not being subtle. He's like, no, you need to marry. No, you need to do this. And 172 years later, like, okay, you can tell them this, but do it in a different way. And I think that that's the thing, because none of them really want, except for Lord Strong, really want to give up their power. They know they can, like Daniel said, they manipulate you, they control you, and you don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. But I don't know. We got Daemon, who is now basically won the war.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens next is going to be interesting. And I think we have maybe 1 or 2 more episodes where we are seeing Rhaenyra and Alicent as this age.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they aged them up in like either episode 5 or 6. But I'm not sure where in the story. Like I said, I think I do know that she and Daemon do get married. I don't know how that happens. But look, hopefully they do it once she is older. But
well, she older than her best friend when her best friend married her dad.
That is true, and that is still bothersome. But again, we know that that's how they did things back then. So, but again, Rhaenyra is not the type that's going to do what everybody else wants her to do when she wants to do it. And I mean, the conversation she has with her father when she basically comes out and tells him, "Yeah, you mean to replace me?" And he was like, "I don't want to replace you. I just want," what did he say? "I want to see you happy and even content." And that's when she says, "And you think a man will do this?" He said, "A family." She said, "I had a family." He was like, "What would you have me do?" You know? And that's when she made the comment about, if this was for advantage, you would have married, Lena Valerian. And he was like, "I just want to see you happy and content. I want," and he tells her, "Okay, I will stop trying to set you up a match." I mean, that I will say for him, he apologized to her for what he did with the Lannister, Jason Lannister. Oh, and I saw somebody else. This was another meme. Somebody was like, "I'm so used to all of these names in Game of Thrones that somebody comes up with a regular name like Jason." I'm like, what? His name is Jason Lannister.
Look, they could have named him Derek and it would have been better, okay?
Common, basic. Now let me quit.
That is so true. I didn't think about it. That is true. Everyone has
Jason too.
He has.
So he tells her, he was like, "Look, your match is out there. Go out, find him." He was like, "I want you to choose as it pleases you, as I did." And that look on her face when he says that is kind of like, it's a realization for her that, oh, the reason why you chose Alicent is because you actually did care for her. You liked her. Oh, and I think for her, that might have also signaled to her, oh, that was going on a lot longer than I thought. Regardless of what the context was of that relationship back then, whether it was just that she spent time with him and she comforted him, or whether, I don't know if I think that it was sexual at that point, but there was obviously some kind of connection there. And I think Rhaenyra is just now realizing that when he makes this comment, because he says it and she looks at him and then she gets up and she starts walking out the door. But before she walks out, that's when he tells her, he was like, "I did waver at one time, but I do not mean to supplant you." He said, I swear to you on your mother's memory, I will not supplant you."
When he said that, I thought, it's gonna happen.
I don't know, because he, like you said, he is not a strong king.
No,
he's weak, and
he is.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra is very similar to Daemon. Even just the way especially now with her coming back at people, their interactions with others, they're more similar than she is with her dad.
I think that's just like a typical Targaryen thing. It's just that their dad doesn't have it, or her dad doesn't have that.
Could be.
He's not clever with his words.
But also, too, if I think about it, like just what I know, the little I know about the Targaryens, because again, I have not read the books yet, but, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but maybe love softened him because he actually did love his wife. And, you know, when they get into these marriages, they don't get into these marriages for love. They get into these marriages for advantage, you know, and he actually loved his wife. And as you can see, he kind of, I guess you could say, gave her what she wanted, what she needed, you know, because think about it. Okay, so since we keep making the Tudors comparisons with this show, if she had been married to Henry VIII, she'd have been gone. 5 miscarriages or dead babies? Oh no, you got to go.
Yeah.
You'd be gone.
Yeah. Even in this time with him, people probably said something to him as well.
And they was
like, you may need to take a second wife.
Yeah, it's not uncommon for a Targaryen to have another wife. Hello, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to, because, you know, only because we finally met Rhaenyra. He seems a bit of a hothead as well, speaks his mind. Maybe it does go back to them having dragons, and he didn't. That just makes him a little different.
Yeah.
That he is a Targaryen.
That could be it too.
Didn't have a dragon, so he wasn't a dragon rider.
Oh well. I guess we're gonna see how this goes now, because like I said, Daemon has won his little war. He has his trophy. And
are you talking about that mangled carcass that he was dragging along?
I mean, a trophy's a trophy. I don't think he cares.
Oh,
he was just like, look, I'm just making sure y'all understand this dude is dead. The war is over. Y'all have no one to lead you now. Half of y'all are gone because the dragons done burnt you up. Yeah.
There was a movie on Arnold Schwarzenegger. I forgot what it was called, but he says, "I'll be back," and the guy's like, "Only your reruns." That's what I thought about about the Crabfeeder. He's not coming back. You know, they made a big deal about him in the promos.
What movie was that? He did say that, and
was it Running Man? Wait, was it Running Man? Running Man? I think it was.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was the Running Man. But he says, "I'll be back, only in reruns." So. They made a big deal about the Crabfeeder. He's going to be in the show, and it's the 3rd episode, and he's gone.
But you know, I noticed that in some shows, like even with like, okay, with The Walking Dead, you have those villains that are supposedly going to be so bad, and then they get knocked off in an episode or 2. I'm talking like the Terminus people. Because they were supposed to be a way bigger threat than they ended up being. I mean, but we also have to look at it like this. These first 3 episodes, there were time jumps. So even though it seemed short to us, this man has been wreaking havoc for almost 5 years now.
Yep.
So, you know, and like you said, maybe they'll show us some more flashbacks about what happened. I don't think so. I think the Crabfeeder is done, and now we're going to be dealing with the aftermath of this war and what it means when Daemon, you know, I'm going to assume at some point he has to go back home. So how that homecoming is going to look now that he has won this war, that's going to be interesting, because you do have people in the kingdom who back Daemon.
Yeah.
And who think that he made the right decision going after the Crabfeeder.
Right. But which home is he going to go to?
Well, technically,
if he goes to Dragonstone, no one's there. That's his house now.
Yeah. But I mean, the other thing too is now Lord Corly has to go back to King's Landing and answer for his actions.
Oh yeah, that's something different.
And you have to do this while the king is considering marrying his daughter off to your son, even though, yes, he told Rhaenyra she can choose her own whatever. You can't tell me that they're not going to bring that son and kind of dangle him there like, oh, well, you said that this was a good match for your father, so maybe this will be a good match for you too.
And there is a scene with the two of them.
There's a scene with them dancing together.
Is it a scene dancing? I saw a scene with them on the beach.
I didn't see the preview for the next episode.
I don't think Lord Corly has really answered for anything because, to be honest, all he was doing was protecting his ships.
But you did what the king told you not to do, and then not only did you do that, you went to the exiled brother.
It doesn't matter how many ships I used to protect my ships and how many men I used to. I need to get my ships to go through.
My ships were burning.
You know,
I mean,
I didn't
but the king told you no.
But let my ships burn.
The king told you no.
No.
Doesn't matter how much sense he made.
No, I went
to
the king.
Told you no.
I went to the king,
and the king disrespected me.
To the king,
he disrespected me
to ask him to start a war, and the king said, "No, I'm not going to start your war." But he didn't say I couldn't protect my ships.
And then he turned down my daughter.
You know, so I'm just going to sit there and keep sending my ships through and watch them sink every time they go through.
I'm just saying that if the king tells you no.
No, he not in so many words. He said, "I'm not going to start a war for you." That's what he said.
What that king gonna do?
He weak.
What that king gonna do?
But Michelle, she got the neck going and everything. Like, what he gonna do?
That's why he was like, he's no threat.
He's weak. He ain't gonna help me, but he ain't gonna stop me either.
Yeah, but if you think about it, you
and my son got a dragon, so boom.
But you let this person take his men, which technically speaking, those are the crown's men too. They belong to the crown.
Well, that's like the steps belong to the crown, and you let the Crabfeeder take them. Like, you let him do whatever he wanted to do down there. So you can't have it both ways. You can't be the crown and then not be the crown.
I'm just saying, Michelle, I think that's just burnt skin on the Crabfeeder.
All over?
Yeah.
Like that?
I mean, think about it. If he's been around fire and he barely escaped dragon fire the last time.
He was like that from the beginning of the show.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like burns. It kind of looks like the dragon scale, gray scale, and it looks a little scaly. But it also looked like it's from being between that salt water and being in the sun, like how your skin can sometimes just crack in a sunburn and repetitiveness of that. So
those could be calluses.
It could be.
They look gross. They look even more gross when you're watching it in 4K UHD.
Yeah, it's nasty.
It's nasty.
I mean, even see the back of him, like he had just a little bit of hair, patches of hair in different spots. I mean,
it could have been scabies, so that does some bad things to your skin.
Yeah. I'm looking, Michelle. It's all in his scalp.
Yeah, it's just.
He's not eating enough fruit out there.
Did he say like getting that vitamin
C?
Like
getting that vitamin C. No.
Did he say a word? Has he even spoken in any of these episodes?
Nope.
Okay.
Not an utterance.
Okay. And he's over here looking up scabies. Please don't. That's even more disgusting.
I was just remembering that scabies was one of those things that sailors got. It made me think that it might have been that.
So let's see. I'm looking at the wiki of Ice and Fire. It says Craigus Drahar, called Craigus Crabfeeder, was a prince admiral from Myr who served the Triarchy. Says, let's see. The Triarchy, the alliance of Lys, Myr, and Tirosh, drove Volantis from the disputed lands with the Battle of the Borderland in 96 AC. Craigus then led the Triarchy's armies and fleets in conquering the Stepstones from the island's nest of pirates and outlaws. During this campaign, he earned his sobriquet, Kraga's Crabfeeder by ordering hundreds of pirates staked out on beaches to drown in the rising tide. Okay. So,
and
I don't
he
know.
decided to stay there. And was like, hey, and then, those ships? Whose ships are those? Oh, those belong to the Valerians, those rich dudes. They look like pirates to me. So that's how that went.
Yeah, but I'm very curious because they changed his character just a little bit from the book, and I was curious because, like you guys, I thought he would have been around a little bit longer. But mentioning what going back to what Anthony said earlier about his mask being, what was it, the Brotherhood or something? Because that was
the Harpy.
Yes, because wasn't that the one where we were supposed to get Iron, was it Ironheart or Lady Stark when she died? Remember, she comes back as the Force Ghost.
Lady Stoneheart.
Yes, Lady Stoneheart. But we never got that. And that was the worst thing that they never did with Game of Thrones because everybody wanted to see that. So am I right? And that's the group that follows her?
I don't know.
Or am I misremembering?
No, because they were over in Essos.
Oh, okay. Well then, okay, I'm all confused then. Yeah. Oh, that's right, they were. Okay.
That's okay. At some point, I am going to go ahead and start reading these books because, like I said, I started when Game of Thrones started thinking, there's like so many books right now. I'll have time. And I said this in the panel this weekend and everybody just laughed at me. I said, yeah. So I started watching the show and I read the first book thinking I would have enough time, to get caught up before the next book comes out. And then everybody starts laughing because, of course, he released the book like at the beginning of Game of Thrones. And then we've all been waiting for a book since. So I'm like, okay, the show is over. I guess I need to go ahead and just start reading the books and seeing what's going on in this world. So I think I am going to start with Fire and Blood and then just kind of go from there since we're already watching this show. But
Hanako, think about this. Think about the thing that pissed people off. He hasn't finished the last two books, but yet and still 4 years ago, he found the time to write Fire and Blood and publish it.
And he's writing another book too. Yeah, he's writing another book too.
Yes. You would, I'm sorry, the nerve, okay? The nerve, literally, okay?
Yeah. But you know what? I kind of sort of know what goes into a writer's process because I have written before. Sometimes you can't force the story. And you know what? You have such a popular series and people are going to be very critical of it. You also know that they're going to be looking for all your mistakes. They're going to look for your continuity issues. So yeah, you might want to take some time with it, but 10 damn years, I'm just saying. I understand, but at the same time, I don't understand.
Look, all I'm saying
and that's
is
what I'm with you. I don't understand. It's something we said in the car when we were come back from DragonCon that I believe that he had the story, it was ready, but so many people figured out how it was going to end. And now he is thinking, how can I change this? How can I be surprised?
Okay.
So what you guys said in the car made perfect sense because I understand other story comes and the characters speak and you write when they, are ready to come out. However, dude, COVID was a great time to get these stories out.
Exactly. He was working on another book. But you know what? I have heard other authors saying that's the one good thing about DragonCon too, because even though, we do these panels, sometimes we do these panels with authors, published authors, and they talk about their process as well. And then, you see other authors talk about their process, like, okay, Michelle and I are fans of the Outlander books, Diana Gabaldon. She talks about how when she first wrote Outlander, she never planned to publish it. It was just a story that was living rent-free in her head and she had to get it out. Then when she finally got it published, she thought it was going to be a one and done book. And then she was asked, hey, can you write 2 more, and then it just kind of kept going. And now she's already writing book 10, and now she's starting a prequel for Jaime's parents, and she's also written books about Lord John Grey. So sometimes I can understand if you have this train of thought for a story, and maybe your thought process takes a detour. I can understand that. But
I do too. But I feel like with him, and this was said on one of the panels too, during Dragon Con, he is not the type of writer that will let a ghostwriter write for him if he passes away.
Sanderson.
It's like literally when he passes away, and I don't
Sanderson.
He's just not going to. We're not going to get the end of the story. So if you're okay reading the books and not having a conclusion,
I know, which I'm not. But
we're not going to get a conclusion.
But I do kind of want to know,
Michelle. Don't you? And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. Don't you think at this point he would be better giving Brandon Sanderson the story and just go home?
No,
I'm just saying.
No,
he did Wheel of Time.
No, he's not going. No. That's his baby, and he's the type that he's not giving that control or to anyone else.
And I can honestly say I understand that.
And I do too. Even in his will, he's like, no one can have rights to this story. I mean, yeah, you can make some movies, but I don't want anyone finishing my book.
And to your point about Brandon Sanderson, he's a completely different kind of writer. It wouldn't work. Brandon Sanderson is not that. He would not be the choice to finish it anyway.
He wasn't. Okay. Okay.
So I just have to understand how. Well, first of all, how old is Martin right now?
He's 67 years old.
He's 67?
Yes.
Oh, he got time. Okay, we got time. I thought he was in his 70s.
No, the way that people talk about him, you would think.
No, I thought he was in his late 70s. That's what I was like, man, we running. Oh, he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fairly young. Okay, yeah, all right. Is. So rolling with that.
He is 70s. He's 73.
Oh, that's different.
Yes? I thought he was younger than that.
We still got some time.
He's 73.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
We have some time.
All right. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. And I'm this is going to be my last point because it's getting late. Okay. So say, because George R. R. Martin is from Illinois originally, and Illinois is a popular place with certain writers. Say you get somebody by the name of Jim Butcher, who, after he finishes Dresden Files, who has written historic stuff that, I don't know, maybe in his will he says, I'd like to have Butcher finish it, or some other writer who is credible, was it Jemison, or any writer of note that can finish a book and deliver it on time. Leave an outline, leave pointers, but at least.
But if that was the case, why not finish your own stuff? Why put that responsibility on another author who is writing their own stuff? Now you're adding.
I believe he has writer's block. Like you said, they figured out the ending. Everybody's pissed because Bronn was the king, which still disagree with. And he doesn't know how to write because he said, I have a different but more same satisfying ending or something to that effect. I think because we were obsessed for 8 years, we figured out what he was doing. We stole it. We posted it. We told him about it. They did it. And now he doesn't know where to go because he knows that if he was going to conclude with Bronn as king, he can't go anywhere else but that, and he's stuck.
But he has always said that the way that the show was diverging, that was not what his story was.
See, I don't believe that. I think he's lying through his teeth. I do. I think that he had it, and he didn't think it was going to get 8 seasons. He thought maybe 4 or 5, and then when they ran out, they kicked him off, and they went with it, and they did it. That's what I think. Same thing with The Expanse. The Expanse was not supposed to end quite the way that it ended from the books, but they did, and that's what happened.
I don't know if I feel like he would have chosen Bran to be king, at least not in the way that it came about.
No. Well, I agree with you on that one.
So
it would be slightly different.
No. But back to someone finishing, Sue Grafton didn't finish her series either, and that will probably never be finished.
They said they weren't going to finish it.
Yeah, because she
no one could
I think
like
specifically
right,
she said that she didn't want a ghostwriter.
So,
yeah,
she got close though.
I'm pretty sure he's probably going to have the same deal.
Yeah, but
maybe with the excitement of House of Dragon, he's like, you know what? Maybe I can sit down and actually finish.
He's working on the other spinoffs and stuff too. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's not just doing the writing. Like, he is an executive producer on this show. He is a consultant on this show. Like, he helped create this show. He has been active. I think he was even active on the other spinoff that got canceled.
I need them to leave him alone.
Well, man, trying to make his money.
Cards too, and he has his movie theater in Albuquerque.
He's trying to make his money.
He is making that paper. I can't be mad at him for that.
I can't either.
He called up Kevin Smith to ask Kevin Smith would he promote House of Dragons on the podcast. Okay, he's got friends in high places, as they would say. This man, the television adaptation of Wild Cards, that is still a contract that he has to fulfill. They still haven't finished the rest of the Wild Card books. They haven't finished this. They haven't finished that. Look,
are they doing a show based on the Wild Cards?
Yes, it was optioned 6 years ago. It's still open.
He has a co-writer for that. He did.
Okay.
He did.
Yes, but that's an anthology. That's different.
Yeah.
It's an anthology.
That's him working with someone and letting someone else write it. So
right, because he works with Butcher on that, Sanderson's on that. Mur Lafferty is on that. John Jackson Miller.
So it's not outside the realm of possibility.
Right.
I just think that the Game of Thrones universe is his baby. It's his moneymaker, and he's gonna hold on tight to that moneymaker.
And that's gonna be the legacy.
Yeah, it is. But the funny part about it is, I'm truly upset about this. However, if the book came out, I'm not gonna read it. I just want y'all to tell me what happened.
Oh, jeez.
No, she'll be like, Anthony, I got it. Here's the book. Can you read it and tell me what happens?
Oh my!
I am not putting that on my list.
That's what
I have already been enough panels for Game of Thrones where they talk about. I forgot which book they talked about of his, where it is just hell to get through.
It was the second to the last, so I forget the name of it, but I know which one you're talking about.
It was like it's so much politics. It was just I forgot because Tara mentioned it a few times, like a couple of years ago, and she was like, "Yeah," because she had reread the books, and they were talking about rereading all the books, and they were like, one book they just couldn't reread again.
I think it's the second to the last one because the last one basically has all the Jon Snow wall stuff on it, and then I'm lying. It has White Walkers and King's Landing, but that's about it. But yeah, no, I think
no one's gonna remember House of Cards. Everybody remember Game of Thrones.
House of Cards.
That's true.
I mean, House of
the Dragon. Oh,
no.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Wild Cards.
Wild Cards.
You know what? If they yes, they're skipping because they have that book. I just finished the book like on Sunday. There is a lot they have to get through. All I'm saying that if they do it the right way, and this will go 5 seasons, maybe 6, possibly 7. If they do it the right way, we are going to be even more glued to our seat than we were with the original Game of Thrones. I mean, because it's got a lot in there.
I'm not complaining about that.
Oh, I mean, it gets in and it goes in directions you wouldn't even think of. I mean, the stuff that we see now on 3 episodes is nothing. They haven't even begun to get into even these characters we've seen now. So, but I
figured they wouldn't, especially if they knew they were trying to get a season 2.
Well, not only that, I don't even think that they're going to. Well, basically, they started in the middle, right, of everything because of all the stuff before, because with Daenerys and all that, because the whole Daenerys stuff they had. I was listening to
you mean Jaehaerys?
Jaehaerys, yes.
Okay.
I was listening to the official House of Dragon podcast. I forget the 2 people, but anyway, they're officially sponsored by HBO. Anyway, they've been interviewing cast and stuff, and they were saying that they were given 3 different points in the book on which they could jump off and do the series, and they picked this one because they said it was the most clean way to tell the story because they were given 3 different points that they could have done. And the first one would have been with the first king, but they decided there wasn't enough drama. The second one was where we are now. The third one was toward the end of the book, when they have a whole big fight for succession, but they figured it would take too much time to go into whose side was on what and make it last past 2 seasons. So it was interesting.
Okay. Well, going back to House of the Dragon episode 3, does anybody have any final thoughts about the episode?
Team Daemon.
I mean, you don't get no argument from me.
He got it done.
He did.
It took him 3 years, but he got it done.
It was beautiful.
Without a word.
It was beautiful.
Without a word. I'm just like, I don't know. I guess I'm Team Daemon too. Look, I got my Targaryen earrings in, so all right, go team. But I guess that's it for this discussion. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fandom Hybrid. We have a Discord channel, Fandom Hybrid Podcast. You can find us there. You can also watch our videos on our YouTube channel and listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.